This is my Galaxy S25 Ultra review, but it's not the video I had originally planned. You see, I lost my voice in San Jose, night after Unpacked. I'm still not 100%, but definitely sound better than this opening shot we filmed on the S25 Ultra.
Energy in my voice is just not there right now, but we're gonna keep going because it's an exciting day.
I filmed part of what was going to be my first 24 hours with the S25 Ultra video, so I decided to take a few days off to rest my voice and recover, and in return I was able to really use this phone, put it through its paces, and put together a full review. Hi, I'm Michael Josh, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my job to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, I give you special access to the products I review, the events I attend, and all the interesting people I get to meet along the way. So, if you're shopping for a new Samsung smartphone, give this channel a like and subscribe, and I'll help you find the right one to match your needs. This is my Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra review. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is a very interesting phone to cover, not just because it is the top-of-the-line phone in Samsung's lineup every year, but many consider it as the top Android phone in the market. In some ways, it remains unchallenged. For one, it's the only high-end phone that comes with a stylus. But in some ways, because it is the gold standard, it also faces serious competition, especially outside of the US. This year, with the early introduction of the S25 Ultra, the bar is set very high. But the updates might disappoint fans who are eager for more hardware-related improvements. This year, while the phone gets a slight redesign, a new ultra-wide-angle camera, and a special 4 Galaxy version of Qualcomm's new Snapdragon chip, the headline features are all AI-related. The Galaxy S25 series is being touted as the edition that will usher in a new era of mobile computing. The question, though, is how groundbreaking really are those features, and are they enough to keep Samsung's closest competitors in the East at bay? We're just getting started. If you caught my first look video, I've already taken an extensive chapter on design, as well as a rundown of the new colors. You can click right up here to watch that, but in this video, I'll keep this chapter short. Basically a summary of my thoughts on where the S25 Ultra stands in terms of design. Point number 1, and I've been thinking a lot about this. The color selection this year is very sophisticated and subtle, mostly sticking to the classics: white, silver, black, and gray. And for those of us who want some color, there's this silvery blue model. Then, if you go the online route, a faint rose gold and green. The knee-jerk reaction as a reviewer is to want more color. But as a guy who thinks about my phone as an accessory, these colors are perfect. I actually love that while for the most part it feels like I'm rocking a silver phone, I actually have a blue phone. While in the past I have complained about how the S24 Ultra looked, these little camera accents give the S25 Ultra enough design flavor for me. And I appreciate the rounded corners, unifying it with the rest of the S25 family, instead of having it stick out as the Galaxy Note reincarnation that it is. I do appreciate the thinner bezels and the more scratch-resistant front glass, but I do think that the flat edges, while great looking, are a little bit too sharp. I also appreciate Samsung's commitment to use more recycled materials incorporated into its frame, components, and even battery. If you tuned in to the keynote, you'll find that there was a lot of talk about AI. Samsung claims that One UI 7 has been re-engineered from the ground up. There was a lot of talk about agents and personal data engines, all of which is a step in the right direction, but as it stands now, it doesn't feel fully realized. Also, it can be a little bit misleading which features are from Google and which ones are from Samsung. Not that it should really matter to users, except for the fact that if it's a Google feature, then it will eventually make it to other Android smartphones. And if it's a Samsung feature, because Samsung promises years of OS OS upgrades, which now, by the way, is at unprecedented 7 years with the S25 series, older phones will get One UI 7 eventually too. Either way, we'll put a little icon on the screen so that you don't get confused. I personally am interested in the promise of the personal data engine, which in its early days powers what Samsung calls the Now Brief, accessible via this widget on the home screen. This was how it looked like on my first day with the S25 Ultra. I got the San Jose weather, an energy score courtesy of my Galaxy Ring, I got a look at my calendar for the day, and then there was a suggested article based on what topics Google thinks I'm interested in. When I woke up today, it was already suggesting a new routine, asking if I wanted to open Instagram every time I woke up, which I politely declined. For now, all of this seems pretty basic, but hopefully as more routines are suggested, then the full power of the Now Brief can be realized. I think you have to turn on the customization service under modes and routines for it to automatically populate. But over time, your phone should prompt you, like when you're in your car. It might say something like, I noticed you use maps and listen to music every time you're in your car. I can open these apps for you each time. Would you like to save it as a routine? I was also told that if you have a Samsung SmartThings controlled thermostat, it could learn that maybe you like to sleep with the temperature being a little bit cold, and it could eventually suggest a routine, whereas it could bring down the temperature of the thermostat every time your Ring or Galaxy Watch detects that you've fallen asleep. Eventually though, I'd love more integration with third-party apps. For example, instead of just reminding me to leave the house for an appointment, I wish it could say, hey, you have to leave in an hour, do you want me to book you an Uber? Or maybe, hey, your mom's birthday is next week, do you want me to order flowers? Or, hey, lunch is in an hour, do you want to order something on DoorDash now? That would feel like a more proactive assistant, and I hope all of this will be coming soon. When your phone is locked, there's also the Now bar, which shows you sports scores or media controls. Out of the box, my S25 Ultra was already displaying the most recent Bayern Munich game results. Google already knew that was my team, so it already knew to do this. Samsung is also introducing the ability to use your voice and natural language to search your phone. For example, I was in settings and couldn't remember how to change the button layout on my home screen. So I just tapped on the microphone and described what I was trying to do.
How do I change my navigation layout? I want to remove my home and back buttons and replace it with the bar. There it is.
You can also use your voice to search your photo gallery. Same thing, hit search, and down here, type or speak what you are searching for. Show me pictures of a plane with a yellow belly. I really like how specific you can get. During the keynote, the example was find a photo of Max, which was a dog, enjoying a spa day in a bathrobe wearing a cucumber mask. The phone first looked for photos of Max, found a few of him in a bathrobe, and identified that one photo where he had a cucumber mask. There's also a feature called AI Select, which can be invoked by swiping from the right-hand side of the screen. AI Select knows what's on your screen and can suggest actions based on what it thinks you might need. For example, turning a YouTube video into a GIF, or adding an event to your calendar based on a photo of a poster, or summarizing a group of text. A bulk of the demos you'll see from Samsung have to do with its deeper Gemini integration. Over the last year, as companies have begun building AI functionality into their operating systems, Google has slowly been transitioning from Assistant to Gemini. And what you're about to see in the next few demos is what that's going to look like not just on Samsung phones, but all Android phones coming soon. So to summon Gemini, long press on your side button. You'll get this pop-up with a halo of color around it. The old hot phrase, hey or okay, Google, also still works. Gemini is multimodal, meaning you can interact with it by typing, with your voice, or even your camera. Can you tell me about this?
This image shows a beautiful indoor terrarium on a wooden table.
New is the ability to assign complex multi-step tasks, which Google is calling extensions. Like being able to search for the latest NBA game and adding that to your calendar.
Find the next Warriors game and add it to my calendar.
Okay, you've got a new event on your calendar called Golden State Warriors versus Chicago Bulls.
Or searching for something on the internet and texting that information to your friend. Or snapping a photo of your fridge and asking Gemini for a recipe based on what's inside. Or my personal favorite, talking live about a video I'm watching on YouTube. Can you summarize the video? Give me the highlights.
Okay, here's a summary of the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked video you're referring to. First, it talks about how the new Galaxy S25 has advanced AI capabilities.
Currently, extensions can help you complete tasks across apps like YouTube, Google Maps, Gmail, and Spotify. In this blog post, Google says these features launch on the S25, but are also coming to other Android phones in the following months. Similar to how Circle to Search debuted on the S24 series first last year. On Samsung devices, extensions also work with Samsung native apps like Samsung Calendar, Notes, Reminder, and Clock. There are two things I want to point out here. The first is that Google makes its own Android smartphone, the Pixel. So the fact that they've chosen to launch these features first on a Samsung phone is really telling of how important Samsung is in or to the Android ecosystem, and how maybe Samsung is the most important Android OEM. And secondly, like I alluded to earlier, these are not Samsung features, these are Google features, meaning because they are coming to other Android smartphones, it shouldn't be a reason for you to go out and buy a Samsung S25 Ultra based on these features unless you like having new features early. So, which AI features are unique to Samsung? We already discussed the personal data engine and the Now brief. The rest you can find in Settings, Galaxy AI. Some of these features have already been around since last year, like Interpreter, which provides live translations of spoken conversations. Hi, I can't find my taxi. Can you tell me where you are?
It's off 4th Street.
Or Transcript Assist, which lets me transcribe, say, this recording from the keynote, breaking down this transcription by speaker, and even offering quick summaries. Or Photo Assist, which lets you not only erase objects, but resize them and move them around in a photo. This year, improvements have been made to generative edit, and it's so good, dare I say, it's way better than the Pixel's Magic Eraser. Not only does it remove people from photos, it automatically also removes their shadows. And more importantly, does such a banging job and filling in what it's deleted. I loved how in this one example, when I tried to erase this large shadow, it filled all the details back into my sweater. In this other example, notice how it smartly replaced the curved green line when it removed the passerby. The Pixel 9 Pro just failed at that. It can also remove reflections from images. The only thing I don't like is every time you do this, it adds a disclaimer, AI-generated content to the image, because realistically, the reason why I want to remove distracting people or objects from my photos is so that I can post a better photo. So oftentimes, I'll find a way to crop the text out. Another new Galaxy AI feature is called Audio Eraser, and it's one I have to show you for you to fully appreciate. So here's a clip I recorded in San Jose. Okay, we stopped in front of this beautiful house, not just because there are beautiful houses in the background, but because there is a construction going on over there on the other side of the road. Hopefully it's noisy enough and the camera and the microphones on the S25 Ultra picks it up, because I want to be able to test out the new AI eraser, audio eraser feature. Okay, now we've moved closer to the action. My voice, by the way, isn't very loud, but the noise in the background should be louder. Let's see if Audio Eraser can handle this task. That was the original clip. With Audio Eraser, the S25 can identify 6 different types of sound: voice, music, wind, nature, crowd, and noise. In this clip, after analyzing the audio, it's detected voice, wind, and noise. So let's mute both the wind and the noise layers and play that clip back again.
Okay, we stopped in front of this beautiful house, not just because there are beautiful houses in the background, but because there is a construction going on over there on the other side of the road. Hopefully it's noisy enough and the camera and the microphones on the S25 Ultra picks it up, because I want to be able to test out the new AI eraser, audio eraser feature. Okay, now we've moved closer to the action. My voice, by the way, isn't very loud, but the noise in the background should be louder. Let's see if Audio Eraser can handle this task.
As a creator, I love this feature. I often have to film outdoors, and usually once the camera starts rolling, the ambulances start driving by. Also, sometimes if we're at a cafe, we might hesitate because of the music playing in the background might give us a copyright strike. So Audio Eraser for the win. However, you also need to know that if the noise is loud, if you're trying to prioritize voice, sometimes that can also affect the quality of the results, and sometimes the results might sound too robotic. Last year, we were in Paris for the launch of the Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6, and one of the features introduced was Portrait Studio, which lets you turn portraits into caricatures, sketches, or a watercolor painting. Samsung says this year they've improved Portrait Studio, promising a more accurate representation of your subjects. So I took some photos of my friends, and here's what they looked like and how their portraits turned out. I also did some comparisons using the same photo on the S24 Ultra, and I've definitely seen an improvement, but I've yet to come across one that really looks like me. You finally made it to our chapter on cameras, which historically was the Galaxy S Ultra's standout feature. This year, however, on the S25 Ultra, out of the 4 cameras, only one is new, the ultra wide angle camera. This new camera features a 50 megapixel sensor, which is up from the 12 megapixels last year. It also doubles as a macro camera, which Samsung says can deliver 4 times more detail. I really do enjoy shooting macros, and here are some that I took around San Jose. The additional resolution really does come in handy, allowing the phone to capture more detail. Also, for the first time, you can now shoot 8K video using the ultra-wide camera. Of course, an ultra-wide camera is great when you're out and about being a tourist, shooting landscapes or cityscapes, so here's a montage of my favorite ultra-wide angle shots from this recent trip, during the day and at night. Now let's take a look at some of my favorite shots using the main wide camera. I didn't spend too much time here, as overall this is still a solid camera with a natural shallow depth of field, perfect for taking photos of my meal on the plane, or that obligatory shot of a glass of champagne. It's great for just quick snapshots of myself for social, or of my friends. It's even wide enough for a Gen Z portrait selfie. Speaking of, I also use it to take these portraits using Expert RAW and a new software feature called Virtual Aperture that lets you manually select an aperture between f1.4 to f16. The results are quite different versus a regular portrait photo and are worth checking out. Of course, I also use the main camera to shoot these photos around San Jose. Because it was a bright sunny day, I took a few comparison photos versus my iPhone 16 Pro Max, mainly because Samsung has a reputation of producing extra punchy, vibrant photos. These results show that this is still the case. But one could argue, which of these 2 photos would you rather post to social media? I did the same today of my Chinese New Year working lunch, and I definitely appreciated that extra vibrancy on the S25 Ultra's pic. Finally, let's check out the telephoto camera, which, like last year, is 5x down from 10x on the S23 Ultra. Despite sharing the same sensor as last year's S24 Ultra, Samsung says they're using a new AI-based technique called Remosaic, which analyzes neighboring pixels and uses that data to fill in or provide more detail to each pixel. You can see that in this one example of the Bank of Italy building in San Jose. These photos were taken in 30x, And notice the star on the cupola of the building has much more detail on the photo taken with the S25 Ultra. Remosaic, by the way, kicks in at 30x. Overall, the telephoto camera does a great job and can hold its own versus the Vivo X200 Pro, which probably has the best zoom lens on a phone currently. In fact, in some cases, I'd argue it doesn't try too hard, resulting in a very heavily Gen-AI looking image. The best part, though, has got to be when you're at a concert or sports game. I shot these photos during the Warriors vs. Bulls game at Chase Center. Thank you, Samsung, for taking me. Granted, action shots are harder to freeze given the distance and the lighting, but I still got some good ones at 10x and even 30x. But more impressive was 10x video. These came out really well, including this one shot of Steph Curry hitting a 3. Speaking of video, for the first time on a Samsung phone, you can now shoot in log mode. Log basically lets users film with a wide dynamic range. Footage usually looks washed out, which is why you need to go in and color grade your footage after the fact. Now, Samsung offers a built-in LUT that you can immediately apply, but it's way too vibrant for my liking. So here's a short film we shot on the S25 Ultra with a LUT manually applied in post by our editor V. Let's talk about the battery on the S25 Ultra. Like last year, it comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. In 2022 or 2023, I would have been thrilled, but I can't say that in 2025, I'm not a little bit disappointed. Only because some of its competitors have already introduced new silicon carbon battery tech, which is more power efficient and more dense, allowing for larger capacities without needing larger battery cells. The average size, based on what's currently available, is about 6,000 milliamp hours, and Samsung is reportedly planning on using the same tech next year. In the meantime, Samsung says that thanks to the 3nm processor and optimization that comes with Qualcomm making a chip specifically for Samsung hardware and software, battery life is going to be better than last year. And I can say that after using the phone for over a week now, that is the case. With heavy use, I still have enough juice left over at the end of the day, about 20 to 25%. Charging is another area where Samsung's competitors are making inroads in innovation, offering up to 100 watts fast wired charging and up to 80 watts fast wireless charging. This makes Samsung's super fast charging 2.0 speeds of 45 watt wired and 15 watts wireless pretty average. On top of that, the S25 Ultra does not come with a charger in the box and does not come with a cable that supports these super fast charging 2.0 speeds either. Its competitors do, but that comes with its pros and cons. You see, OnePlus, for example, ships with this Super VOOC charger and cable, but you need the specific charger and cable if you want that super fast charging. On the other hand, the S25 Ultra doesn't need a proprietary charger, meaning if you have a fast charging brick lying around, I had this 100 watt Ugreen charger and a fast charging cable, you're good to go. In my GadgetMatch charge test from 1%, the S25 Ultra got to 28% in 10 minutes, 75% in 30, a full charge took just 2 minutes, under an hour. Now let's talk about wireless charging. And the elephant in the room is whether or not the S25 Ultra supports Qi 2. Unfortunately, the Android world doesn't seem to be ready to adopt Qi 2 just yet this year, and that's not necessarily a Samsung problem, it's probably more of a Google issue. You see, when the wireless consortium came up with the new Qi 2 standard, Apple was involved and it adopted a lot of Apple's MagSafe tech. Google wasn't involved, but they've now since taken the lead on Qi 2.2, which focuses on power and speed. And my guess is that until that's ready, most Android OEMs won't be adopting Qi 2 just yet. The good news, though, is that the Galaxy S25 Ultra is Qi 2 ready. But with a caveat, you'll need a supported case like this one from our friends at UAG, who rushed them over so I could feature them in this video. Basically, unlike the iPhone, the S25 Ultra does not have magnets built in, so you'll need a case like this one. And once you pop them on, the S25 Ultra will support all the wonderful MagSafe accessories you love, like this Qi 2 power bank from Charge. Currently, Samsung's competitors are building out their own magnetic ecosystem of devices. Oppo, for example, not only sells its own magnetic cases, but also this magnetic wireless charger with cooling fans built in, as well as this magnetic power bank. This is where the Android ecosystem is headed, it's just not there yet. The S-Pen is one of the S Ultra's unique selling proposition. It's perfect, for example, for an impromptu game of tic-tac-toe, or the S25 Ultra's AI sketch-to-image feature, which transformed my sketch of a butterfly into this work of art. I just love having it for taking notes, and if you've watched my videos, you'll know that's how my brain works. I like to be able to jot my thoughts down, and while I do prefer writing on a tablet, I don't always have a tablet, but I always have my phone with me. This year, the S Pen got a major downgrade after Samsung quietly removed Bluetooth functionality from it. This in turn kills Air Actions, which was a feature that let you use your S Pen as a remote control for the phone's camera. And while rumors had it that Samsung was going to sell a Bluetooth S Pen, Samsung officially has stated this is not the case. I don't think this particularly will be a deal breaker. There are still other ways to trigger the shutter. You can use your hand, or you could snap your fingers with the Galaxy Ring, or you could use your Galaxy Watch, but I'm curious what you guys think, so let me know down below. So, is the Galaxy S25 Ultra your gadget match? If you set aside all of those AI features, many of which are coming to other Android phones and or an update to older Samsung smartphones, S25 Ultra is looking very much like a minor incremental update. That said, I really did enjoy reviewing this phone. Samsung has set the bar high for Android phones to follow, and it still remains one of the best smartphones you can get today. I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for a new Android phone and are willing to spend north of $1,300 for it. It definitely deserves the GadgetMatch seal of approval. There's also still time to take advantage of these pre-order deals. There are different ones for the S25 and S25 Plus. If you're picking up an S25 Ultra, you can get up to $900 in instant trade-in credit and up to $300 of instant Samsung credit. Instant credit is new, by the way, this year. You don't have to wait till your next purchase, which means you can apply that credit on a new case, a storage upgrade, or an add-on like Samsung Care. And if you use my link, which I'll put down below, you'll get an extra $50 Samsung credit. The offer only lasts for 30 minutes from when you click, so make sure to check out before time expires. The Galaxy S25 Ultra officially goes on sale in stores starting February 7th. And that was our Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra review. What do you think? Is this a phone that you'll be picking up? Are you excited about this new phone, or are you disappointed by its lack of hardware updates? Let me know in the comments section below. We have a lot more coverage coming your way. Let me know what you'd be interested in seeing, and make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon while you're at it so that you get notified as soon as we post new videos. Follow me on social media for all the behind the scenes fun, travel, and fashion, and for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.